When I was a little kid, I used to have these little plastic models that you would make, like the Revell ones. And, you'd make like cars and planes. Revell was the name of the company.
Oh, like a glued together model? Those kind of deals?
Yes. Oh. And I remember having this one model where it was half of a boxing ring, and it was Gene Bell and Jack Tunney.
Oh, yeah. Sure, Jack Tunney.
I think that's what it was. It was a real old boxing match. This is like back in the 60s when I was a kid doing this. And I thought it was the neatest thing because I'd never seen any models of boxers before.
Yeah.
So...
That is cool.
I don't know why I thought of that, but I remember distinctly now seeing the two fighters, and yeah.
Do they even make those anymore? No, they don't like them for kids because they sniff the glue.
Probably not. Yeah.
That glue's toxic.
It is.
That shit's terrible for you. I always used, as a kid, I had one of those.
You always use glue?
Yeah, I always did a lot of models when I was a kid. Okay. I had, when I was a kid, one of those TIE fighters, those Star Wars things. You glue it together and shit.
X-Ties, yeah.
Yeah, there was always a bunch of cool little models. Cars. He was always putting together model cars. Yeah. That was a thing.
Yeah. Remember the guy that did the bug out kind of hot rods? The guy with the big the eyes and bloodshot eyes. And rat fink, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
That was the stuff that I used to make too when we were making models. Was a lot of those what did they call it? The Snake and the Mongoose dragsters and Boot Hill Express. They had all these crazy cars that were like Mattel cars too. That was really fun.
Are you into cars?
Now. Yeah, I am. I've got. I did some foreign car mechanic work when I was younger. I just did R&R stuff, remove and replace, and mostly on English cars, and mostly Triumphs, where you had to take the clutch out, and in order to get the clutch out of those things, you had to take the whole front, down where your feet are, the whole console out of the car, and then go under the car that way. And I thought, surely these guys are making me do this the hardest way possible. So.
What kind of cars are you into now?
Well, I have English stuff. My wife and I both have a Range Rover. She's got a Bentley, and I have an Aston Martin. And my daughter, she has a Range Rover Justice. I gave him an Aston, and he traded it for a Raptor, which I think a lot of people would say he's nuts, but I think here in Texas, a lot of people would probably say they understand.
Those things are fucking great.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
They are.
But why English cars? Why are you so into English cars?
Well, I don't know. I used to hate English cars, and I had Mercedes for pretty much all my driving adulthood. And I had a manager at one point. He said, "Yeah, you should just get an Aston Martin." And I said, "Really?" And that was the one after Pierce Brosnan, who I thought was the worst James Bond of all.
Who's the best?
Huh?
Who's the best James Bond of all?
I think now, because I've been able to see some living, breathing James Bonds. I thought Daniel Craig was good.
Thank you.
I thought Sean Connery was cool until I found out that he likes to smack his ex-wife around or whatever. Everybody's got skeletons in their closet, and it's better not to even hear about it. And when I find out stuff like that, it's just so disappointing. That's what they say: never meet your heroes.
Mm. Yeah, I think Daniel Craig was the most believable of all the James Bond. I believe he was an assassin. That made sense to me. Looked like it. Fit the role.
He wasn't so artificial.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's also a product of the times, right? During the Roger Moore days, it was more silly. James Bond was silly. It was half of it was comedy. It was all the
smarmy talk and
silly one-liners. Catchphrases. In the Daniel Craig era, it was more a realistic action movie. Not necessarily realistic. But.
That first movie, when he started off on that crane, I was hooked.
Yes.
You know what? He could have been dead right there, and I would have watched the rest of the movie.
I love those movies.
It was so great, yeah.
Well, listen, Dave, I chewed up 3 hours of your time. I appreciate you being here.
I hope I make my
flight. I hope so, too. I appreciate you being here, though, man.
You got it.
Great to hear your story, and
Thanks.
Great to meet you finally.
You too.
It's cool. So thank you very much for everything.
You're welcome. I have something I want to give you, too.
All right. Well, thank you for that, too. And that's it. Cool. All right. Thank you. Bye, everybody.